11 Strategies to Handle a One-Sided Relationship. Are you in one-sided love? It's time to take control. Welcome to Relationship Shield, where we explore topics that strengthen your relationships and protect your heart, emotion, and connections. If this is your first time here, we are happy to have you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest insights on love and relationships. Let's talk about the 11 strategies to handle a one-sided relationship. Relationships are supposed to be based on both partners putting in effort, trust, and giving back to each other. However, sometimes things can become unbalanced, leading to a one-sided relationship. What is a one-sided relationship? A one-sided relationship occurs when one partner consistently invests more energy, time, and emotion into the relationship, while the other partner takes without reciprocating equally. This imbalance may manifest in various ways. One person always initiates communication, makes plans, or sacrifices their needs to keep the relationship intact. Over time, this dynamic can leave the more invested partner feeling neglected, frustrated, and emotionally drained. Let's look at these strategies through the story of Maya and Eric, a couple who dealt with the problems of an unbalanced relationship. Maya was always the one giving in the relationship. She planned surprise dates, remembered Eric's favorite things, and put her heart into everything. But Eric wasn't the same. He hardly made plans, often forgot special occasions, and seemed distant. Maya told herself he was just busy and tried to ignore it. One day, Eric canceled another dinner she had worked hard to plan. That was the moment Maya realized how unfair things had become. She was doing all the work to keep the relationship going. Tired of the imbalance, she decided it was time to address the problem. Maya sat down and thought carefully about what she needed to do. She knew she couldn't keep giving so much without getting anything in return. That evening, she calmly talked to Eric about how she was feeling. "Eric, I've been putting a lot of effort into this relationship, but it feels like I'm the only one trying," Maya said. "I plan everything, remember special dates, and always make time for us. But it seems like you don't do the same. I need us to share the effort if we want this to work." Eric was quiet at first, then looked at her, realizing the truth of her words. "I didn't realize how much you were doing. I'm sorry for letting you feel this way. I'll try to do better," he said. Maya felt a little relief, but she knew actions spoke louder than words. She was ready to see if Eric could truly change, or if she needed to make tougher decisions for her own happiness. If you find yourself in such a situation, don't despair. There are practical strategies to address and navigate a one-sided relationship effectively. Below are 11 steps you can take to regain balance and clarity in your relationship. 1. Acknowledge the imbalance. The first and most important step in addressing a one-sided relationship is to acknowledge its existence. This requires honest self-reflection. Ask yourself, are you the one always initiating communication? Are you the one constantly making plans or compromises to keep the relationship afloat? Does your partner fail to meet you halfway, emotionally or practically? Acknowledging this imbalance doesn't mean blaming yourself or your partner. It's simply about understanding the dynamic so you can decide how to move forward. Without this recognition, it's impossible to create meaningful change. 2. Communicate your feelings. Effective communication is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. Once you've identified the imbalance, have an open and honest conversation with your partner. Instead of pointing fingers or accusing them of neglect, focus on expressing how their actions or inactions make you feel. For example, you could say, "I feel like I'm the one putting in most of the effort in our relationship, and it makes me feel unimportant." This kind of approach avoids sounding confrontational and opens the door for your partner to share their perspective. Keep in mind, though, that communication is a two-way street. Listen actively and empathetically to their response, even if it's difficult to hear. 3. Set healthy boundaries. In one-sided relationships, it's easy for boundaries to become blurred or completely absent. Setting clear and firm boundaries is essential to protect your emotional well-being and regain a sense of control. Ask yourself, what behaviors are you no longer willing to tolerate? How much effort are you willing to put in before expecting reciprocation? Once you've identified your limits, communicate them clearly. For instance, Let your partner know that you won't tolerate being the only one to plan dates or initiate conversations. Boundaries are not about punishing your partner. They're about ensuring mutual respect. 4. Stop overcompensating. One common pitfall in one-sided relationships is overcompensating for the lack of effort from the other person. You may find yourself doing more to make up for their lack of initiative, planning all dates, constantly checking in, or even compromising your needs to avoid conflict. However, this behavior only reinforces the imbalance. Step back and allow your partner to take responsibility for their role in the relationship. For example, if they never initiate plans, stop doing it yourself for a while and see what happens. This shift can be revealing. They may either step up or confirm their unwillingness to contribute. 5. Evaluate their actions, not words. When addressing one-sidedness, it's crucial to focus on your partner's actions rather than their words. Promises of change are meaningless without follow-through. Observe how they behave after your discussions. Are they genuinely making an effort to meet you halfway, or are their promises empty? For instance, if they say they'll plan the next date, do they actually follow through? If they agree to communicate more often, does their behavior change? Actions speak louder than words, and consistent effort is the true measure of commitment. 6. Focus on self-love and personal growth. In a one-sided relationship, it's easy to lose sight of your own needs and self-worth. Take time to focus on self-love and self-care. Engage in activities that bring you joy, build your confidence, and strengthen your sense of identity outside the relationship. Surround yourself with supportive friends and family who remind you of your value. When you prioritize self-love, you not only improve your own well-being but also gain the clarity and strength to demand the respect and reciprocity you deserve. 7. Assess your partner's willingness to change. No relationship is perfect, and most imbalances can be addressed if both partners are willing to put in the effort. However, the key lies in your partner's willingness to change. Pay attention to how they respond when you express your concerns. Are they defensive or dismissive? Do they show genuine remorse and take actionable steps to improve? If your partner is resistant to change or continuously invalidates your feelings, it may be a sign that they are unwilling to invest in the relationship. This lack of willingness should not be ignored. 8. Avoid making excuses for their behavior. Love can sometimes cloud judgment, leading you to rationalize your partner's behavior. You might find yourself thinking, they're just busy with work. They've had a tough past, so I should be more understanding. While compassion is important, repeatedly making excuses for their lack of effort only perpetuates the cycle. Acknowledge the reality of their actions without sugarcoating or justifying them. 9. Consider a trial separation. If the relationship remains one-sided despite your efforts to address it, a trial separation can offer both clarity and perspective. Taking a step back allows you to evaluate the relationship from a distance and gives your partner an opportunity to reflect on their behavior. During this time, focus on yourself and assess whether the relationship adds value to your life or drains you emotionally. A trial separation doesn't always mean the end of the relationship. It can sometimes lead to renewed effort and understanding from both parties. However, if the imbalance persists, it might confirm that it's time to let go. 10. Prioritize happiness over commitment. It's natural to feel obligated to stay in a relationship due to the time, energy, and emotions you've invested, or because of promises made in the past. However, it's essential to recognize that commitment alone should not outweigh your happiness and well-being. Staying in an unfulfilling or one-sided relationship can lead to resentment, emotional fatigue, and even a diminished sense of self-worth. Prioritize your emotional health by asking yourself these questions. Are you genuinely happy in the relationship, or are you staying out of guilt or habit? Does the relationship add value to your life, or does it drain you emotionally? True commitment thrives when both partners are equally invested and happy. If the relationship no longer meets these criteria, it's okay to choose your happiness over staying committed to something that no longer serves you. Letting go of a relationship that doesn't nurture you is not a sign of failure. It's an act of self-love and a step toward finding a partnership that aligns with your needs and values. 11. Be prepared to walk away. As difficult as it may be, Sometimes the healthiest decision is to walk away from a one-sided relationship. Staying in such a dynamic can lead to emotional exhaustion, low self-esteem, and even long-term resentment. By leaving, you open yourself to the possibility of finding a relationship that is balanced, fulfilling, and mutually supportive. Walking away isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of self-respect and courage. Trust that by prioritizing your well-being, you are making room for healthier connections in the future. In conclusion, one-sided relationships can be emotionally draining, but they also offer an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. By addressing the imbalance, setting boundaries, and prioritizing your own needs, you can take control of your happiness and pave the way for healthier, more balanced relationships. Remember, you deserve a partnership where your love and effort are reciprocated, and never settle for less than you are worth. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more.